So, guys, best Celtics of all time. Cedric Maxwell went on Adam Kaufman's Celtics beat earlier this week. Talked about the greatest Celtic of all time. It's not Larry Bird. It's not Bill Russell. It's not Bob Cousy, Casey, or Sam Jones. He said, in his opinion, the best Celtic of all time is Kevin Garnett. Zaire, agree, disagree? Where are you at? Because you're going to know more about this than probably LP and I.
Okay. Kevin Garnett is a guy who I said back in the 2000s when everybody was loving Kobe, I thought Kevin Garnett, and this was before LeBron James became what we know him as, I said Kevin Garnett was the best player in the NBA, hands down. He could do everything. He's the only player that could do everything. Kobe can't be 7 feet tall, you know?
Right.
So I love Kevin Garnett. I think he's just one of the most unique big men to ever play basketball. That being said, best Celtic ever? No.
Who you got?
Most talented? Maybe, but best ever? No. And this is a hard one because there is a big three in real life of, of course, Russell, of course, Bird, of course, Havlicek. And Havlicek gets forgotten about because of how great Larry Bird was. Larry Bird was the replacement. He erased pretty much the memory of Havlicek. And maybe it's because I'm an Ohio guy or something, but, you had there's a season where, Havlicek averages 28.9 points a game, 9 rebounds, 7.5 assists. And this is coming from, he's not your point guard, and he's getting all those assists in a time where 7.5 assists was a lot. But yes, Bill Russell's the greatest winner ever. Greatest winner ever. I got to go with Larry Bird. And, maybe it's just being a kid in the 80s, but this guy, he's like Babe Ruth of Boston Celtics history. Just the stories of this guy telling you what he's going to do and doing it. Being slower than everybody, but still beating you. Being not being able to jump, but just being a step ahead of you. I don't think in basketball history, I don't think there are 10 basketball players better than Larry Joe Bird, in my opinion.
LP, where we at, brother?
Best, I got to be basic and just say it's Bill Russell. And I'm also salty from the offseason, and they just the league decided we're not going to pay people that are good at defense, and we're just going to ignore them. I feel like defense is actually important.
I wonder why I say that.
They should be paid, and I think Bill Russell was the best to ever do it, and he never lost. And, he just he was probably wheelbarrowing stats that they never even they didn't think to even count them.
Blocks.
And I feel blocks is huge. He was, just the guys he was playing against, it's crazy.
Zaire before the podcast said that he thought Wilt was the greatest of all time, and Bill Russell owned Wilt. Maybe not in sheer numbers, but look at wins. Wins.
No. Bill Russell did not own Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell owned Wilt Chamberlain's teams. You know what I'm saying? But Wilt Chamberlain
was also scoring 20 less points a game than he's supposed to. I know it was 60 down to 45, but still.
45, that's a lot of points, you know what I'm saying? And he's going against not just Bill Russell, he's going against a better squad. You know what I'm saying? The Celtics were the dream team of the 60s. You could just send them overseas to play in the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? But no, Bill Russell, yes, he won more against Wilt, but he wasn't the better one-on-one player. Wilt Chamberlain was a freaking freak of nature. That like LeBron is the closest thing to Wilt Chamberlain, where it makes no sense how big, how strong, how fast, and how smart, and how he's a distributor. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Bill Russell could pass the ball too, but Wilt Chamberlain could do anything to hurt you. Score, rebound, block. Bill Russell was nowhere near the scorer Wilt Chamberlain was. Nobody was. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that no, Bill Russell did not own Wilt Chamberlain. He owned his teams. That's
going to go super well in the comment section. I can just tell you right now, it's not going to be pretty. I am with Cedric Maxwell on this discussion, and I think that his point is valid. Kevin Garnett is better defensively than Bill Russell, who is probably, if not the greatest defender, if not the greatest defender in Celtics history, one of them, right? Actually, the C's have had a lot of good defenders in their history.
Wait. Cornbread didn't say that. He said that Kevin Garnett was better offensively
That's what I
than
meant.
Bill Russell.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Better defensively
Okay.
than Larry Bird.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
That's what I meant. But you could also, I don't know, maybe make the point. Better defensively than Larry Bird, better offensively than Bill Russell. You put that together, you get a pretty good, guy on both ends. I think KG, if you put him in today's game and not 10 years ago, I think he'd be even better today. Like, I talk about it a lot of time with like Chris Webber. I think Chris Webber would be better today than he was back in the day. I think Kevin Garnett would be an absolute monster today. And because A, he'd play center his whole career, and be really good at it. And B, he'd shoot threes. And the only real problem I had with KG offensively was he doesn't shoot threes. He just has his foot like on the inside of the line. He's very comfortable from there. He's a great shooter from there. But everything else, he can put the ball on the deck. He can move the basketball. He was a great screen setter, although a lot of them were not legal screens, but whatever, you don't call it. Defensively, one of the best individual defenders at his position of all time, one of the best team defenders I've seen in that position of all time. He is the ultimate competitor. I love how he trash talks people. I love how intense he is. I love his respect for history. I love his respect for a lot of things. I think Kevin Garnett is the greatest Celtic of all time just because I think of his two-way talent. I don't think the Celtics have had a guy like that ever. That's saying a whole lot for the most storied franchise in the history of the NBA.
Well,
KG might be the coolest.
I don't even think KG's the coolest of all time. There's some cool dudes on the seats in their history, including Bill Walton, who might have been if Twitter were around, he'd be the most memeable guy of all time. If Twitter were around,
he still is the most memeable guy.
That's true. That is true.
KG's best years were in 03 and 04.
Yeah, yep. his best years were in Minnesota. So
unfortunately,
if you're talking about like the totality of his career, I still have a hard time saying in the totality of his career that if there was a draft, I mean, looking at the players, yeah, I'd pick Kevin Garnett. But knowing what I know, and I say, okay, Larry Bird, Kevin Garnett, or even Bill Russell, I don't know if I pick Garnett over Bird. As crazy as this may sound to many people, because many people didn't see Bird actually do his thing.